Pearl. I am going to be helping facilitate tonight instead of our wonderful Matthew Young, who is the founder of Art of Freelance. He couldn't make it this evening, so I am one of the guides that helped with Art of Freelance this time around. And for all of the friends and family that are joining us tonight that don't know anything about Art of Freelance, you're in for a treat. What the program is, it's a 10-week accountability course for freelancers to find community and accountability. And the first few weeks, we always start off on, we always begin with exercises that give us a little bit of clarity of where we have gone and where we want to go as far as being a freelancer. And then we clarify that down, and then we have a check-in once a week with a cohort of about 6 to 8, 10 people that we get to know and create a community with. They get feedback and accountability. So tonight we're going to be celebrating the last 10 weeks, and you're going to see a lot of projects of how we spent that time, of what we focused our energy into, and what we chose to be held accountable for. And just know that a lot of these are works in progress. We're always a big believer in progress over perfection, where these are all things that we want to get to a certain place. And some of us are at the beginning stages of this project that we have chosen. And a lot of us will have a deliverable tonight. Others just wanted to clean up their life. It really was our choice as an independent artist who chose to do this session. Tonight we have 3 of the 10 cohorts that participated this time around that are going to be presenting this evening. And we're going to start with the guides talking. So it'll be me and Emily and Eric. And what you're going to see this evening is that each participant has 3 minutes to share how they spent their 10 weeks. And that is a very short amount of time to share what you have done in a very long period of time. But we want to stay in integrity with everybody's time that has been invited here this evening. So I really encourage you, if something resonates with you, we're going to be putting our contacts in the chat. You'll also see a lot of the participants have changed their names to their Instagram handle. Please go check out their work and continue to follow their journey of wherever they're at with their projects. And we want to thank Emily and Eric for guiding this time around, and for all the participants for participating. And we want to thank everybody for joining us today as well, because this is just a big celebration for this evening. Let's see. Oh, if you would like to learn more about Art of Freelance, you can go to artoffreelance.com to check out our 2021 curriculum, or follow them on Instagram at Art of Freelance. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start with Emily.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi, everyone. I'm Emily. I'm a photographer based in New York, and I'm excited to share my Art of Freelance project with you. Now let's just take a look. Can you all see that? Good? Great. Okay, so really this project titled Bloom started from a desire to connect and harbour my creative relationships. So I embarked on a body of photo work that utilised florals and botanicals. I chose flowers as I find them like visual reminders that we're alive. They gave me license to play, and really just in this crazy time, they really helped me find connection to the outside world. What I really wanted to do was art direct and shoot a series of images with intention. So I planned a couple of large scale shoots along with some smaller ones around that. For this particular shoot titled Palette of Plants, what I wanted to do was I envisioned an outdoor studio. So I brought the backdrop outside to sort of play with that indoor-outdoor feeling. I also spent time researching and making visual notes. So these were processes that involved going around my neighborhood, creating little images and vignettes within my house, using flowers from the bigger projects and smaller scale types of photos as well. I shot this all on medium format, which added another layer to the project as well. This helped me sort of slow down the process and be more intentional with how I shot things. So I used fashion and portraiture as a vehicle for this, because this really gave me nice license to play and lent itself really nicely to collaboration. It got me out of my comfort zone, and really through the process I've met so many amazing new floral artists, dancers, stylists. It's incredible. For this shoot here, I know we're moving quick. This one here is called The Impressionists. What I wanted to do with this was really build a landscape of printed and cultivated flowers so that they became abstracted out. And the result is something that's kind of like romantic, abstract, and really kind of engulfing. But yeah, I mean, the thing about this project is honestly the strength of a lot of these ideas started with me, but then developed with a team of people. They became creative conversations, which is really what I wanted from this Art of Freelance semester. So it's really cool. And the thing is, like, I also really truly invested in my own projects with time and money, which gave me a new perspective on what it means to, you know, treat this with the same, you know, force as client work. And as a result, what I'm doing is really building out a new set of images that feel like me, they embody my style, and they're ultimately things that I want to get hired for. So yeah, so you can follow me, hopefully share this around, and just, you know, I feel like collaboration is where this started. So I'd love to collaborate with you if you want to do something together. And that's me. Hopefully that was 3 minutes.
Amazing, Emily. Just gorgeous work. And I think if you check out the chat, a lot of people have a lot to say to you tonight. I'd love to see your new work always. We're going to go ahead and hear from Eric.
Hello, hello. Can everybody hear me? Do the thumbs up, I guess. That's how we do it. Hey, all right. Nice, thank you. Hello, everyone. So it's a pleasure to be a guide. And of course, with being a guide, I have to do a little work. And so we can get straight into it. You want to see?
Yes.
My daughter Snow is here. She wants to see too. All right. Okay, so there we go. Everybody can see it too? I keep asking for these
One
things.
second.
Everybody can see it?
I need to take.
All right, go ahead. Well, you gotta talk to them. Can you see it? Good? Yeah. All right, perfect. Sorry about that. All right, anyway, so boom. Mobile moves. Open your online store quickly, directly from your iPhone. So here's the problem. The problem is that we have these iPhones and some people have Androids. That's cool too. But we're using them, right? And we're using them and we're having like comparison and self-doubt and consumption and worry and issues. So I'm like, yo, why am I using my phone for these terrible reasons? And why are other people using their phone for those terrible reasons when we know the phone has so much power to unlock everything? You can do your creativity, you can do your meditation, you can do whatever from the phone. So we don't need to use it for these terrible reasons, and we can kind of use it for other things. And so before I get into that, a little bit about me. So I'm Eric, but I go by E. Jordan Ill, which is short for Eric Jordan Illustration. I started out doing illustrations and paintings and things like that. I've been designing for companies for years. And after designing for companies, I started working for myself. When I started working for myself, I was like, man, it's great. And I can help other people do that if they want to learn. And so between knowing that I can work for myself, meaning other people can work for themselves, then we have this technology, I want to put them together. So I built a course. The course is kind of how you can, what I call, direct your own deposits from your phone. And so the secret is, my last Art of Freelance, I did a very similar project. It was called Freedom from the iPhone. And I'm in a few other courses, and some mentors and trusted people were like, yo, you should change the name, or more so that the name is confusing. It sounded like you'll be able to get away from your phone. And I kind of knew that. I wanted the double entendre of you can have freedom from it. And then once you implement these things, you can kind of put it away. But I rebranded it as Mobile Moves, kind of get things going from your phone or your tablet. So, Mobile Moves. You can design your new brand, your new online store in just one day with this course. That's the plan. And they're like, yo, well, why do I need a store? So right now we have, kind of recession-ish, unemployed-ish, maybe working from home or not, and COVID and things like that. Like, why wouldn't you open up your online store? Because it gives you the opportunity to have your own financial freedom, work with your own schedule, be your own boss, all that kind of stuff. So with this project, here's what I did. I did a new logo, new slogan, videos for the course, an actual course, a new website, a new Twitter handle, a new Instagram. Here's an ad I did for it. And I boost the ad on Instagram to kind of make sure that people see it. Maybe I can convert the ad into an actual sale. Here's how the Instagram looks. I did a whole grid, knowing that a lot of people are using stories. So this is the grid when you see it, make it look nice, but a lot of the interaction and engagement is by way of the stories. I have worksheets within the course, some kind of quick things where you can start your shop with Shopify. You can design on your phone, open up another store with Big Cartel. Here's how you can figure out, like, why am I doing this? Beyond money, like, why am I really doing this? And what should I offer? Should it be a product? Should it be a service? It can be both. And it kind of lets you know what those things are if you don't have the idea. I did the course on Google Docs. And so I have links to videos. So I had watched the welcome message, was a video. Then as you would scroll down is text and more PDFs and worksheets and more videos, kind of letting people know, here's how you design your logo, here's how you do the site, this is how you launch. It's called Mobile Moves. And if you want it, you can get it 50% off with code MOBILE. And it's mobilemoves.com. That's what it did. So that's it.
Thank you, Eric. Wonderful. So if you have things to say to Eric, you can drop that in the chat. And so you've now met the 3 guides for these 3 cohorts. And just since we have the most amount of people on right now, I just want to say there's 1 more night. We had cohorts yesterday and we have 4 more tomorrow. So with that same link that you came in today, you can see more people tomorrow. So as we're moving forward, we as guides are going to start to share, introduce people from our cohorts as they begin to introduce themselves. So one of the first people in my cohort is Augustus. I believe he is here, but he is tuning in from Ghana in the middle of the night. So you can chat him in the chat, but he sent over a video for me to play on his behalf. Sorry.
Hello there, my name is Augustus Poku Sarkodie, a 20-year-old photographer and creative director from Accra, Ghana, West Africa, and my work is greatly influenced by what I see around me most, color. Growing up, color meant everything to my family and I, and it is through this that I now create in ways that seek to show the true authenticity in what I photograph, introducing chromatic infusions and ensuring that all things are visually appealing to my viewers. I simply like making real things look good. Art of Freelance has guided me in the creation of a 5-part photo series dubbed Fluidity in Motion, and this is the part of me we get to see today. Each image has a dedicated color palette, which has been personalized to a time and place in my life, and how this has influenced my style of creation. So palette 1 is called True Beginnings, and this talks about my beginnings as a photographer and how these 3 colors have truly influenced my early works, mainly due to the fact that I used to shoot outdoors in natural light and people with melanated skin tones. So for palette 2, we have the Trial of Triads. The compositions of the elements in this piece complement colors present, as this palette should not usually make sense on paper. This palette was generated to show that some things do not immediately gel together, but end up working perfectly when placed in the right proportions. So palette 3 is called Monochromatic Memoirs. Recognizing that color is my greatest asset, I also needed to acknowledge where I would be without it. I love shooting in black and white as it tells a story as plainly as could possibly be. So palette 4 is called Dream in Bicolor. This is a continuation of where I felt like my monochromatic work speaks volumes in shadows and lights. My love for art was heavily influenced by Silhouette's work to the point where it was not a shoot without my signature silhouette shot. So I call palette 5A. This palette is an incredibly important one for me because there was a point in my life where I felt like I was losing touch with reality as I created more. It showed me that sometimes a break is what is needed to truly break free from the shackles of life itself. Showcasing this work has showed me what it truly takes to go through a production. I must say I love every bit of it. As such, I'm open to commissions for productions, projects, and editorial shoots that tell stories similar ways that I just have. Prints for this project will be out on the 12th of December on my website, and you can pre-order this by shooting me an email. Thank you.
So I'm going to put all of his contacts in the chat, and you can give him lots of love over there. We always like to win big. He created so much this time. And we're going to hop over to which guide is presenting the next person?
So that would have been me, and that would have been Helen, but Helen could not make it. So Helen did a great job. She really was working on helping all of us as she helped herself, but she had something to come up. And so respect and peace to Helen, and we can continue to move on.
Okay, terrific. So next up is Dory.
Who, me? Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me just share this little puppy. Hi, I'm Dory Dale Greenberg. This is what I used to look like before COVID. Ooh, spooky. My Art of Freelance project was launching my very first independent talk show called Drinking with Dory. It's a show where the drinks drive the conversation. Think like Graham Norton show meets Adult Swim meets a Jaeger bomb. I invite 3 guests, and they bring an alcoholic or non-alcoholic bevy with them. And through chatting about the drinks themselves, the audience gets to learn things about them that they would never hear on a tired old talk show. Ooh, who am I? I am a comedian and writer with over 10 years of experience hosting interviews. Cheers to me. I've chatted with platinum rappers and Academy Award winners and Fortune 500 execs, you know, plebes. And I've made videos that have, you know, they've got a couple views, like a couple million views. It's no big deal. I've been meaning to create a show for myself for years now, but then my anxiety and my depression were like, ooh, sweetie, no, we have other plans. But thanks to Art of Freelance and the support of my fabulous cohort over the last 10 weeks, I was able to pull up my britches and actually get it done. And now it's time to show the world what I can do all by my dang self. So without further ado, here's a little taste. Oh, wait, I didn't, I need to share. I need to, hold on. I need to, I share, no, it's happening and it is good. Hold on.
Dory, are you wearing pants right now?
So let's start with
just like take a bite out of it, throw it across the room.
Scott, you need to go.
Those blinders on.
Con.
I'm speaking of butt stuff. Scott Bukowski, autumnal cottage gay. Is it human in nature, the secret ingredient?
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo! Drinking with Dory. And I'm Dory.
Wow, what fun. What a roller coaster of emotions. So yeah, I ask, Nate beg of you to like and subscribe on YouTube. Actually, I should keep sharing my screen because it has all that helpful information. You can follow it on Instagram at Drinking with Dory. And also, do you or your friends have money or the power to sponsor shows? Very interested in that. Would love to be able to continue paying my editor for their fabulous hard work. If you want to be a guest, you have a cool project coming out, you want to talk about it, email me. I can put the email in the chat. And you know, would love it if you could just share the episode that you can find on YouTube right now, episode 1, with just one other person, because if I can brighten the day of just one stranger, then I believe the show is a success. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Dory. I wish this is the time when I wish Zoom we could actually unmute everybody, get everybody laugh, but then that would be a nightmare for sound. But such a great job. I went ahead and put Dory's information as well as her YouTube channel. Everybody go subscribe over there and contact her. And what a pleasure to have you in the cohort. So next up is Bob Stevens.
Hey, everybody. So, gosh, I would have followed anybody except Dory, but okay. I'm a big fan. So, I'm a Los Angeles-based photographer and director, and I do advertising stuff. And I've been doing that my whole entire life. And I originally wanted to be a writer, and as life turned out, I became a photographer, and storytelling is at the root of my heart, my root chakra of my being. And so to offset the commercial work that I do, over time, I've explored different personal projects, and with no intent of I never did them to show anybody or share or anything. But during this whole little break we're on, I thought, okay, I want to do that. So this guy up here, this is kind of like, I don't know, this is Pepe Le Pew as Bob Stevens or something with a beret here. So these are personal projects, and there's just a little bitty story behind each one of them. So nopales, it's cactus in Spanish. These were, many of them were shot in Mexico. I have a big part of my life is in the Latin culture, even though I'm not Latin, technically. I've spent a lot of time in Mexico and in Mexico City and Spain and different places that are part of Latin culture. And I've always been fascinated with cactuses and the kind of rough look they have. And so these are images that are in my collection of from cactuses, and they're black and white. These were all shot on film. Some of you may remember film. It's pretty special stuff, and it generates a look that I really enjoy. This series, Modern Landscape, there's a saying in the Tao, this Chinese book that I used to read every day, and the saying is, "The sacred lies in the ordinary." So I set out on a 3,000-mile, 9-day solo trip, looping into Central California, down into Nevada and Arizona, and back to LA. And I was just looking for things that I thought were unusual and that I hadn't seen before. And I had rules. And one of the rules was they must be panoramic. Another rule was that they would have either a man-made object or a man-affected object. These trees are actually white because they've been sprayed to protect them from bugs. This is an aqueduct. That's, believe it or not, a driving range in the middle of nowhere. That's a pile of manure protected from the elements in Central California with this tarp covered with old tires, etc. So this is an abandoned drive-in. So this is just me driving around and looking at what I like and capturing it. So these, once upon a time, I bought a bouquet of roses for my significant other at the time. And, for Valentine's Day, and a couple weeks later, they began to decay. And I reached for them to toss them out, and I sobbed because I started looking at them more closely, and I started photographing them in sort of a macro way. So that's what these are, and that's where they came from. It's amazing how flowers morph as they die. I suppose there's a metaphor there somewhere for all of us. Valles, fences in Spanish. I was on a shoot up in Northern California, car thing actually, and I was scouting and I was looking for this remote road that I'd heard about, and I found it. And what I didn't expect to find were these fences. And it turns out, so this is near where the Russian River meets the ocean in Northern California, about 120 miles north of San Francisco. And the Russian River is named that because Russian settlers came into that area, and they were sheep herders, farmers. And they took the trees, the redwood trees, and they were plentiful, and they still are, and cut them down, and they split them into stakes, and they made these fences. And these fences have been there for a long, long time. And I'm sure, I haven't been back up there for a couple of years, but the last time I was there, I couldn't find any of these. So that's another thing that was really significant for me, was I went back 3 times to document these and to preserve them, because just click on one of them, just to give you an example of the texture and the patina in these things. And the older they get, the more they lean to one side, you know. And again, I just think there's a huge metaphor here for the frailty of our human existence. And these are also film. In fact, this entire presentation is film. Thanks for looking and watching. BobStevensArt.com is my website. And all these are all prints for sale, and there's a ton more content coming. So please check it out, and check it out down the road. And just a quick plug for Art of Freelance, just real quick. What a great experience. I know you're all here because you've done it. If you know anyone who hasn't done it, get them to do it, because it's awesome.
Oh, Bob, it was such a pleasure to have you in our cohort. And I'm so happy that how this all came together. I put all of Bob's information in the chat if you scroll up a little bit, and you can contact him and check out his site more there. So we're going to move on to Antoinette.
Thank you, Sarah. Good evening, everyone. I am Antoinette Cardenas, founder of Social Experiment, otherwise known as a culture alchemist. My project was a little bit different from these beautiful photographers and Dory's Drankin. My project's name is Care for the People, and it was birthed from the uprising and the wild times we're living in. The intention really was just to connect with people out at protests, rallies, voting polls, and events, to remind everybody just, you know, self-care and rest is revolutionary in and of itself. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And here we go. This lovely website done by Eric there. Anyhow, here is the assembly of the care kits. I like to call us the Love Assembly. And in each care kit was this note card that essentially had everything that was in the kit, as well as a little bit of an experience to have a restorative experience. And so in the kit, I will show you, no, this is not a joint. This is an incense rope, and it was infused with Reiki energy for peace and protection, and that was to burn. There was some, and if you look over to the little, me talking over in the little box, you can see these items. A little chocolate kiss and hug that I can't wait to eat right now. And that's just for a sweet treat. There was a floral tea, and that is really just to calm the system, you know, just with some nice heartwarming rose and lavender tea. And then was a face sheet mask. And that really is just to rest, restore, and luxuriate a little bit. And so this next video here is of me doing distribution. And this was over on La Brea in Los Angeles at a voting event back in October. And it was really lovely to connect with people, and it was well received. And I'm very happy with this. And that's my project. And this is my social, this is my social media on Instagram for Social Experiment. Please feel free to follow along if you're so inclined. And the Art of Freelance in my cohort, thank you so much. As you all know, in these 10 weeks, I took on another project, and I'm here in Mexico City and relocating. So my ask this evening, first and foremost, of course, is to take care of yourselves so that we can continue caring for other people and showing up. My other one would be, if anyone knows anybody here in Mexico City in arts and culture, please get in touch with me, connect me. I'm really looking to bring things out here and contribute. So thank you for your time. Happy holidays and lots of love. Thank you.
Thank you, Antoinette. It was such a pleasure to have you in our cohort, and God, we needed this reminding a lot of the self-care during these last 10 weeks. I know within our cohort, I'm not sure how the other cohorts were, but and I'm so excited for this new journey, this new jumping off point, moving to Mexico. So if anybody has any information, I put all of Antoinette's things in the chat. Please email her, hit her up, follow her. She's always doing something creative. She's always connecting people. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Okay, so next up we have Christopher.
Hello, everyone. Let me share my screen. Start my timer. I'm going to back up a little bit here. Before Art of Freelance, I had completed a personal project in which I built a studio in my front yard to document people's overindulgences during the first shelter in place. And I'll explain to you in a couple minutes why I'm showing this. And so it was just, I had people show up. I was very careful, and I had them bring their own wardrobe. I selected from it. I had them bring their own overindulgence. And we shot a group of portraits. With everyone doing their thing. And the reason I'm showing this is because when I was doing my trail mapping for Art of Freelance, I discovered that I really wanted to talk about climate change. I'm a person who lives in Los Angeles without a car, haven't had a car for 3 years. And I want to talk about the fires in California. And I wanted to do these portraits of the firefighters similar to this. And I had set up a truck to create a studio within the truck to go up to the fires. I wanted to kind of document in the form of Richard Avedon and the American West. I wanted the firefighters coming off the line, exhausted, tired, dirty. I wanted to show them, because I've seen fires, I've seen the planes dropping chemicals and this and that, but I've never seen the portraits of the people who fight these fires. It was important to me to show that. I had talked to a Montana group of firefighters. They were all in. Everything was going well. And then the powers that be and other governmental agencies said, nope, you can't do that. So not to be turned away too much, I'm in right now in conversation with the agencies to do this next year. And looks like things are moving forward. And I might be able to pull this off for next year. And we will have fires next year. So meanwhile, I pivoted to do my website, redo it. This is what my website looks like now. And I'm turning it over to do this. So this is what I'm going to do now, and redesign and show more work. And that is what I've been working on. A lot of curating, a lot of changing things around, and it's been fun. And I want to shout out to Sarah for leading us, and to all the cohorts. Everybody in our group was great, really supportive, and I was really happy to meet everyone and be part of the group. That's my time. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Christopher. It was super inspiring to see you pivot from going full in. And that's what's the great thing about Art of Freelance is that, you know, you commit to something and you go ahead and just commit to it. And there are no wrong commitments as long as you're moving forward in a direction. So now you're already set up for next year, and then you got another project out of the way. It's so inspiring. We loved having you, Christopher. Thank you.
All right, next up, we have Louisa. She's part of my cohort. That's why I'm talking, but you're about to see her beautiful work. She's always had great energy, and we look forward to see what she has to offer.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Let me go ahead and share. Oh, Hi, everyone. So I'm Louisa Wells. I'm a fashion and portrait photographer based in New York, and I'm actually in Queens. So just to share a little bit about me, earlier this summer, when things were starting to open up again and it was kind of safe to travel, I'd been in New York the whole time since the pandemic kind of began. I had the privilege of visiting my parents back in Illinois, which shout out to them, they're actually both on this call. So lately, I've been inspired actually by the work of Malik Sibideh and his portraits of Malians in the 60s and 70s. They kind of reminded me of my family's own photo albums. So I'm gonna go share some inspiration here for the project I had. And while at home, I always loved poring over my parents' albums from generations past, and it got me to thinking about the special place that a photo album has in our lives, right? It's not only a place where we can recall memories, but I actually think sometimes it's more than that. And I think that Malik Sibideh's work kind of reflected this as well. It's almost like saying a statement, like, I am here, right? Especially in Black communities and in different people of color communities where that may not necessarily be the case. We may not be able to backtrack past just a couple of generations. And so this is something that's really important to me, that we have these kind of tangible things to pass down. And which is why I feel like it's important to document things in life as I see them. And so with this, I like to hope that somewhere down the line in my own generation, that there will be someone who says the same thing of my work, right? That kind of is the legacy that I leave. So that is where this project comes in. This was a year that I wanted to stretch myself and work with a full creative team. It was the first time I shot with 2 models. It was also the first time that I worked with an art director who's a close friend of mine and very talented, and their information's at the end. But I wanted to create some images that really reminded me of my parents' photo albums, and also something that could maybe be used, in a brand campaign. So I worked with these lovely models. We were very safe. We followed COVID guidelines actually, and made sure everyone was tested and that sort of thing before shooting, and everyone was comfortable. And I just think that these photos just remind me of like my mom and my aunt. There's a picture of them when they were trying to dye their hair when I was younger. And then, my grandmother and her sisters posed on the couch. There's all these images that kind of remind me that I kind of wanted to portray here. And I think we did an amazing job. I'm so impressed with the team. I was so impressed with the styling. And I really I'm very pleased with the results. And my hope with this project is to submit it for an editorial. So I'm still in the works of that. So you will not see this work on my website yet, just because I don't want to publish it quite yet. But I'm in talks with maybe getting it published in a magazine. So stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for letting me share. Thank you for Art of Freelance for this opportunity, and Eric and my entire cohort. You guys are unbelievably encouraging, and I'm just so grateful. So that's the information where you can find me, a little bit more of the team, and stay tuned for more. Thanks.
All right, up next we have the lovely Marla, and she's got a very special project coming all the way from Minnesota to share with us tonight. So I will pass it over to you, Marla.
All right, thanks, Emily. Hi everyone, my name is Marla. I'm a conceptual and commercial photographer and art director in Minneapolis. And my project is called Rooted. Here, I'm going to share my screen here. And Rooted is a photo series that started out as portraits of my mom, who is dying this year. And I wanted to kind of create a series of her and what turned out to be also a self-portrait series, combining our love for plants and growth, and kind of explore that mother-daughter relationship that we have. So this is Rooted, and I'm going to be printing this out into an album for her for Christmas this year. So pages, and I'm not going to read, I wrote out like little letters to her that you can read if you'd like to as well. And this is my information if you'd like to follow along on Instagram. I'm not sure if I'll be posting the photos or not on there, but this is my work, and then you can also follow my own personal project, which is separate from this workshop, but called the Metamorphosis Project. So thanks so much.
Wow, what an inspiring evening. Man, the people that you meet through Art of Freelance and what they're working on is just so inspiring. I just want to take this pause for just a moment, because we would not be able to do this without the support of not only who makes Art of Freelance happen, but we have a sponsor who is Space for Arts, and they have always been so supportive of this program and individual artists. And I would love for Betsy and Van to get on and talk a little bit about what they bring to the table. They actually, I believe it was 12 scholarships that they gave out so that people could be part of this program this session. And we're about halfway through the evening, so we'll go ahead and hear from Betsy and Van. Are you around?
Yes.
Wonderful. Hi, Betsy. Good to see you.
It's hard because our home market is New York, so you know it's a little bit crazy. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your evening. These projects are very personal and very special to all of us, and I just want you to know that being a sponsor of all of your work is incredibly special to us. So I know Connor is about to queue up a video, and my co-founder is about to hop into the home office. As you all know, it's like you never know who's going to pop into the home office. It could be a dog, a pet, it could be a child. It's all good.
I'm the dog.
No, not really. But I'm gonna cue Connor to play our community video, and we'll be on the flip side to welcome you all and say thank you so much for welcoming us into this incredibly special process.
Thanks, Connor. Hey, everybody. It's great to be with you this evening. Very simply, think about Space for Arts as an Airbnb for professional production spaces. We're fully optimized and dedicated to helping you all find the spaces you need to shoot. We're not all things to all people. We're optimized for professional production. And for the creatives that are booking spaces, there's no incremental cost, and we take a small fee from the studio at the time of the booking. But at our core, we're about community. We can't be part of this community without contributing to the community, and which is why we're here tonight. And some of you may have seen us before or heard us speak before, but we're about being part of your world, our world, and helping everybody succeed. Hence the mission, the initiative that's mentioned at the end of that reel. Betsy?
No, and some of you may or may not have already heard about us. Jeremy Jackson, I know you're on the feed. We love to reach out to a lot of the creatives who we collaborate with on Art of Freelance and give them opportunities not only to source studios, but also to be sponsored on our Instagram feed, because we're all about making sure that everybody has recognition. But one of our special initiatives as part of 2021, because we've all suffered from COVID, everybody take a deep breath.
Directly or indirectly.
Right. So we partnered with the American Society of Media Photographers, ASMP, their Donors Circle. It's a foundation that was founded back in April, and it gives cash grants and COVID relief to creatives, everybody who's shooting in studios or whatever your creative initiative is. And every booking on our platform, 2% of our revenue is going to go back to the Donor Circle to give back to giving cash grants to creatives who are shooting in studios. So if you have an opportunity, we welcome you to check out spaceforarts.com. There's a tab at the top of our website, and you can read about our press release. If you want to apply for the cash grants, that's amazing. We would love to hear from you if there's anything we can do to help you source a studio or help with advancing your creative spirit, and any projects that you want to do, please let us know. And thank you, Sarah, for putting our link in the chat. And we look forward to hearing from you. And we want to thank you for letting us be a part of tonight.
Oh man, Betsy Van, thank you for all that you do, seriously. And everyone go check out Space for Arts. It's an amazing site to rent, and the way that they support and connect everybody. Just thank you, thank you, thank you for being here tonight.
All right, I think it's me. Meaning, next up, we have Alicia. Alicia has been out here working hard, different time zones, all sorts of beautiful things, and she has something special to show us. What's up, Alicia?
Thank you, Eric. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in and share my screen and get this going. Can everyone see this full screen? Does it look good for everyone? Awesome, okay. So my name's Alicia Stepp. I'm a fashion and beauty photographer, and I'm based in Dallas, Texas. A little sample of my work. And over the past 8 months, I have been exploring and perfecting on our remote capture ability to provide safe and cost-effective creative solutions with reduced production overhead for clients. And I've been working alongside some modeling agencies in New York and LA to set up virtual test shoots. And I was asked to test a new face, Alexandra, who's based in Cologne, Germany. And it was about that same time that I had registered for the Art of Freelance workshop and decided to combine the test shoot to take the shoot to the next level. And my goal with this was to create a metaphorical and visual narrative that highlights the capabilities of virtual creation. and just the ways that we communicate now and connect and create with one another, as well as the gaps and voids that are created along the way with the loss of in-person social interaction connectedness. This was some of the visual inspiration for the project. All of the collaborators for this project are creatives that I met completely through Instagram, including Kristen Vallow. This is David LaChapelle's key production and set designer. The opportunity to collaborate with her was a true honor and brought my career full circle, as David LaChapelle was one of my favorite photographers when I was starting out with my career. And the stateside stylist was a woman I recently reconnected with on Instagram. And the makeup and hair artist lived close to the model in Germany. And then she brought on this incredible fashion designer to act as stylist on the set, and also to kind of help fill the gaps in with some of the wardrobe pieces. And then Tiago Paraca is a retoucher I've been working with closely for about the past year. And his composite work and design collaboration on this was instrumental. It really took this to the next level. So there were a lot of logistical pieces on that. Like Eric mentioned, we were working in 3 or 4 different time zones. So the call time started at like 1 a.m. Pacific, and that was 10 a.m. in Germany. And by the time we started shooting, it was about 2 o'clock, and we had 2 hours to do probably about 6 looks in 2 different locations. So we shot outside and inside, and the model was such a trooper. I think it was like 49 degrees there while we were shooting. So after calling it a day, I moved on to the post-production phase with Tiago, and we worked very closely together over a 2-week period to piece together the cohesion and the direction for this. And this ended up encompassing over about 50 hours of back and forth and probably about 150 iterations of PSD mock-ups. So I know he's glad to be done with this. And the result, I'm gonna go ahead and jump, I know I'm at 3 minutes, so I'm gonna jump in real quick. The project's called New Romancer, and it's a story inspired by the heart of my aesthetic, which is a marriage of the analog and digital worlds, dreams, the visuals that inspired me as a child in movies like Labyrinth, Dark Crystal, The Neverending Story, and the synesthesia of bands like M83, Bjork, and Talk Talk. All in all, this was a 2+ month labor of love that really goes to show what can be created virtually and despite the current state of our world. It was really inspiring to work alongside all of these people all over the world and produce this body of work that I'm hoping to pitch to fashion and art publications here in the near future. So I know I've gone a little over, but I'm wrapping it up. And thank you so much. Thank you everyone for your time and for the opportunity Art of Freelance. This has been so fun to do. And that's me. There's my information.
All right. So next up, we have Susanna Kennedy. She does amazing work with the body, the mind, and even beyond that. Here we go.
Aloha, everybody. And so I'm in Hawaii, on the island of Kauai, and kind of very isolated here. So I'm really happy to have this group and the accountability. And so I do much different than all the photographers here. So my project this time, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so I am creating, or I have created a course. It's going to be a combination of digital course and group online coaching to help women who have been in toxic relationships to heal. So women who are in between relationships now that want to heal their broken heart and fall in love with their true self. So when you've been in toxic relationships, you kind of lose yourself, you lose your self-esteem and self-confidence, and you lose yourself. And so we want to find the true self without the negative self-beliefs. So I created this program, and I have attempted to launch it, like this is the 4th time, and I get right up to launch and then I don't launch. So this time, besides the support in my cohort group, I did hire a team that specializes in launching, and I found a team that knows the kind of work that I do. And my copywriter actually turned out to be somebody who just got out of a toxic relationship. So when she writes my copy and tries to connect with the people she is one of the people I'm, wanting to support. So it's been really great. I just had a meeting with the team earlier today. They sent me all kinds of copy for the ads that they're going to be placing for me, and the sales page, and the launch schedule, and all of that. So I'm really, really excited. This is like the perfect team for me, finally, because other help that I've employed before just didn't get what I was about and what I was trying to do in the language. So I've been really excited to work with them. And we'll be launching in January, like the 2nd week of January. And the course will actually start the week before Valentine's Day. So we're going to have a special event on Valentine's Day, because again, these are women that are in between relationships. So we're going to love each other up on that day, and then continue with the program. So I don't know how I am for time, but that's about all I have to say right now. This is the sign up, one of the sign up sheets to get the sort of the introduction to the course. So my it's loveuprelationships.com. I'm not really present on Instagram, so I don't have that to give you, but that's it.
Yes, thank you so much, Susanna. Oh, that is so nice. Pleasure to work alongside you. Next up, we have David, photographer, another great spirit in my cohort. David, what do you have for us?
Hey, all. Well, first of all, I've got a great big thank you. This has been excellent. And seeing everybody's work is really inspiring. I appreciate it. I'm a photographer. I shoot architecture and portraits. And as I went through the exercises at the beginning of this, I thought I might come up with some grandiose project and get incredibly motivated. And I found really what I wanted to do was focus on not so much what I was going to shoot, but how I was going to shoot. When I work for my clients, we have objectives in mind, and I get to compose things and create things I'm satisfied with and feed me. But I don't spend a lot of time just shooting my own stuff. So I decided to simply do that. And I needed, of course, some subject. I live really close to Jackson Hole, and I've lived in Jackson Hole or Victor, Idaho for the past almost 20 years. And I've watched this place change, and I've watched things happen that aren't always that fun. Just the deterioration of an old community, the typical gentrification of a wealthy place. And so that's been a focus of mine for a long time. So I decided to shoot with that in mind a little bit. And it went okay. It didn't go great, but within there, I also a client reached out to me to shoot for them. And it's a client, an architect in England. And I so admire their work, and I admire the way they present their work. And they present photography that I love. And they weren't going to come to the shoot, and they weren't going to tell me what to do, and they were just going to tell me to go shoot. So I'm going to show a smattering of stuff from those two things. So locally, I just went out and had no particular objective, but things that this is a closed theater, just some stuff around town. These are trailer parks that are disappearing in Jackson Hole, which is the best affordable housing around. So we're losing community because of that kind of thing. And again, just trying to make compositions that inspire me. And then I got all these beautiful days to shoot, which really wasn't what I was after. I prefer more inclement weather. It makes it more interesting. And then I heard from one of my favorite clients, and so I got to put myself to work this way, which was fun to exercise that. And both projects will continue. I've got more to shoot for these people, and I have more I want to shoot in Jackson. And that is time. Thank you.
Wow. David, that was great. We saw the pictures. Nice. I've been waiting for that. Thanks for that. Next up, another person in my cohort, Quitzy. Quitzy, what do you have for us?
Hey, how are you guys? Let me pull this up for me. Hold on. Okay, let's do this. So, this is not the right screen, but okay, so hi everyone. I'm Quitzy Nelson and I own an artist management firm representing photographers and directors. And I've been in the industry for some time, first on the agency side and moved to the client side. And then the last 20 years, I've been an agent. I love what I do. I love putting people together, a matchmaker of sorts, finding the creative talent and handling a premium brand and matching them with a photographer director just feels so right to me. It just fills my heart. This is all the good fuzzy feeling stuff, but I hit a wall and actually fell out of love with my job. My job has changed a lot for all of us over the last 2 years. It's sales, it's research, it's client contracts, it's COVID compliance, usage conversations, it's sending this beautifully designed email campaign to a curated list of brilliant creative geniuses, and then no one responds. So then you bring in the pandemic and I feel more isolated and lost and didn't really have a whole lot of desire or want to go and do any marketing. So Art of Freelance came and it was pretty magical and probably the perfect timing. Thank you, Paul Ober. So here are a few pictures of the photographers that I represent. They inspire me tremendously. They're lovely people. They're all my friends and really just amazing work. So my project is I created my big, brilliant, badass branding build to infuse some energy and love back into my job. The pandemic opened up a lot of uncertainty on how I was going to sell these photographers and directors. I was overwhelmed and not knowing what to do next or if I was doing it right. I just knew I couldn't do what I had been doing before the pandemic. No face-to-face meetings, no travel, no lunches, etc. So I figured I was going to go ahead and I was missing 3 elements. One was the community, some excitement, and then also the no fear, go big or go home. So the community, what we did is we went ahead and kind of did a couple of different things. During my trail mapping, I realized that I was extremely isolated and working from home, not being on set with anybody and wearing yoga pants every single day. I realized I really missed people. So I had to reach out of my comfort zone. I was looking for inspiration from the group of photographers and directors I represent, but also from the industry. I started reviewing portfolios at APA, working with ASMP Legal, and became a founding member of the Artist Management Association with some other agents. And of course, Art of Freelance. I had things on my calendar that were not about sales or clients or lawyer contracts. We had our first Zoom happy hour, our Q Zoom, and we all had to have really stupid hats. It was kind of a requirement. And then we were invited into LeBook, and that was part of the excitement for the Midwest Connections. I had never done LeBook, and it was a perfect timing during Art of Freelance. It pushed us to design a number of assets and gave us deadlines. We were able to design small 25-page brand books, PDFs for each photographer, and then a larger agency PDF book. And to make it more fun, we needed to have our avatars done, which was really pretty creepy, actually. But there's always those things that are just too big to tackle on your own. SEO was a monster. I had said SEO on my trail map and had no idea where to start. So I asked for help. I needed to update my database, CRM. I had to hire a professional that knew the ins and outs, and this was just to get it done. It's an investment, but I think it will pay off. Finally, go big or go home. This is going to be an ongoing push to stay motivated and inspired and in love with this new way of doing things. I realize I need people and their energy to inspire me, and asking for help is a good thing. After the LeBook event, we were set up to do a few Zoom calls with clients. All the materials were designed and looked really great, and we're ready for 2021. I'd love your advice and support. I'm wanting to build our agency roster with 1 or 2 more photographer directors in 2021. And I'm looking for an intern to help with marketing, social media, and image management. So this is our cohort group, and they're just really great people, and I'll miss them. So that's it. And there's my handle. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Quitzy. What an inspiring re-pivot of how you want to look at your work. It really is inspiring when you go back to your motivation and your creativity. Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
So next up is Natalie, who is part of my cohort, and I believe she is Zooming in from Florida. Natalie? There you are. You have to oh, there you are.
I got it. Hi, everyone. How you doing? My name is Natalie Suse, and I am 24, currently living in Miami, Florida, raised by immigrant parents. I am a creative director and photographer, and this is my first time being in cohort with the Art of Freelance, and my first public speaking event. So bear with me. Today I am showcasing my live website with my collection, Energías Tropical, which is in English, Tropical Energies. So this is my website that I've worked on throughout the 10 weeks. And you can take a quick look. My experience throughout the 10 weeks, it involved a lot of soul searching as much as strategy. From the small wins to the big wins, I am so grateful to be in this cohort today. Energías Tropical is basically the embodiment of the daily life that I personally live here in Miami, Florida. And I want to embrace the main idea of culture in my hometown, because most of my subjects came from immigrant parents as well. And I just wanted to show you a brief of my portraits on my website. You can take a look at it later if you'd like, once I drop the link tree. And this is part of my collection, Energías Tropical. I want to continue my intention to keep creating my vision for a volume 2 of this collection, Energías Tropical. All I ask is for collaboration and your time to look through my link tree mainly to help me continue my freelance journey. Thank you. It's just pretty much all of these subjects that I've done throughout the 10 weeks. And if you want to take a good gander at the subjects that I've done, you can just always look at my website, and you're more than welcome to have a good look. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you, Natalie. And I've put your website and your IG in the chat. So everybody go check her out there. Follow her progress. You did an amazing amount of work. Such a pleasure.
I'd love to jump in and introduce Stefan from my cohort. He's coming to us from DC and has not only been working on his own project, but been so instrumental in helping us, the rest of our cohort, with our own ideas. So thank you to Stefan, and I can't wait to see your presentation. I think you're muted, Stefan.
Okay, start over. Roll it. Dear friends and family of Stefan Bielski, thank you for coming to this memorial service and wake. I've been given a tough assignment. I mean, how can you eulogize someone who wrote the book on how to eulogize someone? I mean that literally. He wrote a book on how to write obituaries and eulogies. So, but I wonder if it's in there, maybe how it tells me how to do it. But anyway, knowing Stefan as well as I do, he preferred me to do a post-mortem on his project rather than talk more about him. So I'm going to spare you the death by PowerPoint and take you right to the website he created for this project. So you can, and I will cut and paste the details in the chat. You can peruse at your own pace. And chat. Okay, so I know that he was going to write a bio writing guide, but then COVID happened and thought, well, death. Let's focus on death. And this last project of his was to be the first in a series of life of meeting products, basically guides to you. So what he'd like from you to get engaged and so forth is, one is simply, visit his website and sign up for the free guide, do the fun and fulfilling assignment, send feedback and photos. Unlike you visualists, he's more of a texty kind of guy. So if you can contribute any graphics, he would love that. One of the assignments is a field trip to a cemetery. And consider instead of sending flowers, consider buying his guide when it comes out shortly. You'll learn about yourself, you'll learn how to be a better writer, learn how to talk about yourself in the third person, but it'll not only help you with those sort of, but if you want to write your bio, your memoir, elevator pitch, dating profiles, maybe I'm overselling it, but it makes a great gift for Christmas and Hanukkah, even for Festivus.
All right, beautiful, beautiful, love it. And next up, we have Anita, photographer. What do you have for us, Anita?
Hi, Eric. Thanks for the introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Anita Puchercera. I'm a photojournalist and visual storyteller from Buenos Aires, Argentina, where I am right now. I'm one of the scholarships, so thanks for this, because this makes it possible for me from very far. I used the workshop to develop another part of my work. The pandemic showed me that when I didn't have any assignment for 2 months, that it's good to try to diversify my activity. Also because I was used to travel a lot for work and to have opportunity, especially in the US or in Europe, and it has not been the case this year. So I decided to work, thanks to the workshop, on two projects to develop the part of my corporate work, looking at my editorial work and how this can build a portfolio to start to work a little bit more in this sense, and also to start to select some pictures from my personal project or assignment to imagine a print sale. So I will show a little bit this. So I use also this time to renew my website in a new platform. I was in WordPress, it was awful, and now I'm in Format, so it's really, but it's better for me. And I could add, how do you say, a tab? I don't know how do you say this in English, but I could put a selection of prints. So I will launch it next week with some stories on Instagram and a mailing list I've been working on. So I can just show some pictures. I try to choose pictures from my work as a journalist, and some prints maybe a little bit more poetical. But the idea is to defend that we can also buy prints from documentary work or photojournalistic work. So this is the first part on the website. And also what I started to do is to create, I will share another part of my screen. I started to create some PDF so I can have it to send to some platform I've been searching on internet, a database for photographer, corporate photographer, because we are not so much here in Argentina. So I made two selections. One is humans, from portraits for my assignment. So the idea was to show diversity from politics and some very serious portrait, like the ex-wife of Pablo Escobar, our former president, and after other kind of portrait, maybe a little bit more creative, for my personal project, also more intimate. So I just want to go quite quickly. And also for small business, to be able to make some portrait for the teams with some creativity. And I did the same for spaces. I'm a former architect, so I feel comfortable with spaces. So to try to catch the attention to some platform in the US who may need photographers here. So the idea now with this, I had finally a lot of work during these 10 weeks and some important news here. So I had to work a lot as a journalist, but the idea is now to send some mailing to this database and to some important people. I found the contact to say, hey, I'm here if you need. So yes, just more quickly. Don't want to waste so much time. So yes, that's me. Thanks.
Wow, Anita. The one thing I've just loved so much, first of all, lovely to meet you. I'm sure your cohort is so happy to find you, but that's what's so cool about Art of Freelance. You meet people from all over the world, that we can be connected and see work that we wouldn't really have access to or see otherwise. So lovely to meet you, and welcome. Next up will be the last member from my cohort, Stephanie, who may or may have her video off because her internet's a little bit shaky, but she's going to share her project. Stephanie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm turning it on for now, and I'll probably turn it off in the middle of it. Hi, everyone. I'm just gonna go and share my screen. My name is Stephanie. I'm an audio maker, background in podcast production. Over the past year, I've been craving to explore the nonlinear and abstract ways of shaping audio stories, to go outside the standards of podcasts and public radio. I'm a novice at this stuff. For my project, which is to create a collection of sounds, I've been recording audio-based, based on prompts from friends and family, daily life, playing virtual synthesizers, and shaping found sound. I noticed this whole process was more than just building up a collection. I wanted this to be generative, but I still needed to protect my personal bandwidth and my health. So my collection is more like a bunch of unpolished, unrefined sonic work. And here's a peek into my sound collage, or a collage of my collages. I'm gonna let this go.
Heavy guns are turned across the Pasig River.
During this process, I realized that what I needed the most was to develop this soft, loose practice of experimenting with sounds, where I allow myself to make mistakes and flow with unfamiliar processes. I also wanted to take a closer look at what's been conditioned as jarring for the ears and not be afraid to include these elements in my sonic work. Overall, this practice encourages me to follow through and continue shaping sounds as a regular part of my creative work. You can listen to these sounds on my website. Again, that video was just like a collage of a collage or a bunch of collages. I don't have a Patreon, but donations will be received with lots of gratitude, which will go towards supporting experimental audio projects currently in development. I'm really thankful for my cohort and everyone here, and happy to connect with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. And I put her contacts over in the chat if you want to go check out more of her work.
All right, now I'd love to introduce Sarah, who's coming to us from Canada. She is a jack of all trades and a master of all trades, and she's going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Sarah.
Thank you for that intro. Hopefully I won't disappoint. Let's see if, can everyone see my screen? Love a thumbs up. Okay, so I'm Sarah. I'm a well-caffeinated, mildly hungover photographer, copywriter, and web designer based in Toronto, Canada. And while that's kind of how my LinkedIn profile reads right now, when I think about what I have the most experience in, it's definitely my background in hospitality. I mean, I've really been working in restaurants since I've been of legal age to serve chicken to elderly couples and nuclear families at Swiss Chalet. So I really wanted to create a project that really combines my knowledge and passion for hospitality with my other creative pursuits. So if this will let me in, hopefully. Welcome to Until Further Notice, a digital speakeasy for unusual times. So it's photography, copywriting, website design, and booze, which is like essentially 90% of who I am. So here we have a curated collection of curious cocktail recipes for any day ending in Y. These recipes are really more inspiration than guidebook, really just a new way to look at the ingredients that you already have in your house. So for example, the pickles and chips is a martini made with pickle brine, and it has a potato chip rim. We've got the torched dreams. And then the sloshy, which is kind of how I'm feeling at the moment, is made with that weird leftover blue freezy that was already in your fridge when you moved in. So in terms of kind of next steps, it's really kind of build and engage a community of like-minded weirdos. People emailing, whatever shit is left in their pantry to get a custom cocktail created. Creating really fun, unique, shareable content. So here's an article I wrote called Wine and Seek, an honest guide on what to drink in every room of your house, because every room has a spirit. So whether you're crying in the shower or drinking on your balcony, there's always a really, really good option. For me, a charitable component is going to be super important. I really want to help give back to my colleagues who maybe don't necessarily have an extra skill set that they can lean into right now when everyone's kind of struggling, probably for like a PDF of like a recipe book, something like that. And then obviously collaboration with artists, illustrators, photographers. I'd love to see how kind of other people interpret this. Bartenders, chefs. I wanted to do a series of how to eat breakfast for dinner like an adult. And then you might be thinking, but Sarah, what can I do? Obviously you can follow me on Instagram. You can sign up for the Until Further Notice newsletter, which I promise I won't be sending anything out for a while because I'm really fucking tired. You can share it with any of your friends that might need a drink or a laugh or think it's fun. And I'm always open. You can email me, which is what my mom did this morning with all of the grammatical errors she's found so far. I will drop the whatever in the fucking side thing. The end? I don't know.
Thanks so much, Sarah. That was awesome. Now, last but not least, we have Sadie from my cohort. She was been such a joy to work with, and I really can't wait to see what you're going to present to us, Sarah, Sadie. So you can take it away.
They're actually both my name, but I go by Sadie. Hi, everybody. My name is Sadie Sabula, and I am a super recent graduate of USC Film School. I graduated on Zoom in 2020. And today, here, I'm going to pull up my, oh, shoot, I have to share the screen. Let's see, is it sharing? Yes, okay. And now I need to present. Okay, so today I am presenting an anthology series that I have been working on. Uh-oh, what does this show anyway? Oh no, what's happening? Okay, not sure what to do about that. Should I do it like this? All right, well, technical difficulties, I guess. I'm not really sure why that's doing that. So essentially what I set out to do is to write a pilot draft for this series that I've been developing because I needed something concrete. What I ended up with was an outline for the pilot, a proof of concept short film that I managed to figure out in 6 weeks, and this pitch-esque presentation. Hold on, now my mom's coming in.
Scoot this over so it's centered. There you go. And then enlarge it.
but some of the pages aren't working.
Well, I would just.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. So what this series is, it's an anthology series based off of murder ballads. So each song comes from a real song each episode comes from a real murder ballad that's based in folk music. You might be wondering what a murder ballad is, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a genre of folk music that is literally about a murder, usually between lovers, and it's typically the man killing the woman for an unwanted pregnancy or infidelity or marriage refusal. And throughout the 20th century, it continued to stay popular. We had Dolly Parton doing covers, Johnny Cash, Kurt Cobain, people like the Dixie Chicks and Bob Dylan wrote their own versions, and a lot of women were trying to flip the narrative by putting their own voice to it. This is a little clip. We just shot the short film this past weekend, so this is by no means an official anything, but, and excuse the music, it's just the cinematographer put this in when she was collecting some of the favorite shots, but this just gives a little bit of an idea. All right, I'm gonna move forward. Oops, come on, let's go. So this is a collection of photographs of the women that would be featured in each of these different episodes. The stories of these women these were women from different cultural backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds. They're anything from a school teacher to a sex worker to a mother, which is something that I really want to feature, the different communities that these stories came from and the different time periods. You'd see the gold rush and at coal mines, even into the 60s. And yes, and so each episode would be very much inspired by the region that the story took place and the world that the character comes from. And the locations range from all of America, from small towns to big cities, all over the country. So the reason why I'm so passionate about this project is, one, to honor the stories of these women, that their whole world was simplified into their untimely death and told from the male perspective. So this would give them the chance, figuratively, to tell their own stories and have their own perspective. And all of these songs tackle still present issues of sex education and abortion rights, domestic abuse. We live in scary times, I find, and as everyone says, history can repeat itself, and that's why we learn about it. So I still have a lot of work to do, and I'm excited to dive further. Art of Freelance has really helped me flesh a lot out. Sorry for all the technical difficulties, it frazzled me. But I will be working on a pilot draft next, and if you want to learn more, there's my contact information. Thank you.
Wow, Sadie, this is an amazing amount of work, and what an amazingly cool idea. Pleasure to meet you. I cannot wait to see where this goes. I want to see this whole series.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Well, that is it for our roster of everyone who presented this evening. We have another night of presentations, 4 more cohorts tomorrow. You can use the exact same link, same time, same place. so you can meet more of our Art of Freelance community. And I just wanted to take this time to congratulate everyone who went through this process and everybody who stayed to support and cheerlead what we've accomplished in the last 10 weeks. Thank you for coming by. And Emily or Eric, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, this is a beautiful experience. I'm so thankful to Art of Freelance. Thankful for you. Thank you for Matthew. My whole squad, my whole cohort. It was beautiful being with you, creating alongside you. Thank you for all your time. Thank you for being here with all of the children screaming. And everyone did a marvelous job. I'm just so thankful to have been a part of that cohort. So that's my piece.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate the same thing, really. I'm just so grateful to my cohort. You guys were really instrumental in actually helping me realize my own project, which is really cool. And I hope that, it was my first time guiding. I hope it wasn't too bad. And I'm really excited to keep following up and seeing what everyone's doing. Yeah, it's sad not to be meeting on a Tuesday. So hopefully we can keep in touch. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll have to look forward to 2021. There will be sessions. So keep up with the newsletter, check the site, come back, because this is my 9th time doing Art of Freelance. Every single time I've been in a different place in my career or my life, or now we're in a global pandemic. So it's like every time I redo the same exercises, I come up with new answers for myself. And that's why I keep coming back. That and the community, getting to meet all these inspiring artists all over the world. And I just love this place that Matthew had this vision to create. And now here we are. And I know there's quite a few tomorrow, I think, are long time Art of Freelancers as well. I can't wait to see their projects too. So come out and support, follow them on Art of Freelance. Also, we'll leave this open for just a second. If you want to scroll up and make sure you got anybody's contact, you want to follow them on Instagram, connect with each other. That's what this community is all about. Hit each other up. And thank you. I just want to say a big shout out to my cohort as well. You made this last 10 weeks just so special to get to meet some really amazing people. Thank you, thank you, thank you for inspiring me and keeping me accountable as well. Thank you, everyone. See you hopefully tomorrow night.